hope you got your shitting pants on.
Because you are about to shit your pants.
I am your host, Michael Sargent. Yeah, big fucking deal, right? All right, first thing we're going to get into this week is a topic that is somewhat interesting for me to touch base on. But in a previous show, I had mentioned something about scams. And largely in part, the scams are directly related to, the craft of photography. And something that I think people would find very interesting is there's all these companies out there that, promise to give you marketing success and tips and tricks to essentially help you grow your business, even in a saturated market. So let me lay this one out to you. A couple of years ago, I received a friend request from a Louise Beatty. Okay, and Louise is from Dundee in the United Kingdom, and she is the business owner at Prosperous Photographer. A little history here regarding this. Louise claims that she helps her clients get a consistent flow of high-quality clients who value their work and don't question their fees, using a proven system that allows smart but overwhelmed photographers to create their ideal business, the one they dreamed of, and that inspired them to become a professional photographer. So, let me lay it out to you. Louise says that, some of the people that have worked with Louise, a Lindsay Robertson, who's a photographer, I don't know who she is, but she left an endorsement here for Louise, and it just basically says, my time spent with Louise reviewing my website allowed me to view my website and business from a customer's eyes, demonstrating how I can better connect with my clients. She gave me an insight into the customer journey within my business and provided specific actions and areas to address that would improve my marketing, sales, customer journey, and above all, the profitability of my business. After only 3 days of putting the simple tips reproductively and prioritization into practice, I have seen a big difference in what I am achieving on a daily basis. Now, that is a very, very, long endorsement. It's a well thought out endorsement. Louise says she helps photographers break through the six-figure ceiling without overwhelm, frustration, or competing on price. Some more background on Louise. She spent 15 years working in the oil industry on a subsea construction ship, or ships across the globe. She's had the privilege of working with some great people and saw some magnificent sights along the way. But with a milestone birthday fast approaching, she needed a change and followed her dream of building a photography business. Now, here's what I want to point out, okay? Louise has been doing this since September of 2013, so she's been at it at 4 years and 10 months. I want to, just state for the record that originally she contacted me on Facebook and seemed very nice. She's very friendly, but she was laying it out to me in, all these little tips and tricks about how I could grow my photography business. Well, here's the thing. She basically had said that she would be willing to, because she was more or less just getting started, she would be willing to give me a discounted price off of her proven formula. So what I'm looking at right now is, Louise has been in business since 2013, and I believe she contacted me in 2015. So 4 years, 10 months, almost 5 years she's been in business. And what I noted was there was a lot of, people that were not really on board, but connected with Louise on Facebook. So, Louise had my interest piqued. She talked, a very good game. And after, she basically told me what it would cost me. And I was like, okay, if it worked, that would be well worth the price, but there's no guarantee that it would work. So you see kind of where I'm going here. And as time goes on, I need to point this out. And this is what every photographer who has struggled or tried to build a business, whether successfully or unsuccessfully, there is always these scams out there, or these people out there that say that they have the secret to success, and they will give it to you at a monetary cost. So Louise offers a few, free PDF books. One, which I actually, downloaded and looked at. But it was all a sales and marketing pitch, in the sense to market the sale itself. So the book is, Create an Extraordinary Photography Business, and it's supposed to be a guide. So I get looking at all this, and, you have to compare it. Look at Creative Live or F-Stoppers or Scott Kelby, and Kelby One. They're pretty much an authority on all of this. They have, hundreds of thousands and some even millions of followers who, purchase online video classes to learn different techniques, tips, tricks. There are several photographers out there that offer photo walks, seminars. You have photography events like Photoshop World, Photo Expo, all these things. And I'll tell you what I learned, through all this. I am basically going to come right out and say it, that the Prosperous Photographer business owned by Louise Beatty is a bunch of bullshit. And the only one that actually gets rich or makes any money is Louise herself. Now, I'm not saying this to be a dick, but something I want to point out. It's LinkedIn is a very successful, professional site. And what I wanted to really get at here is we can all grow followers on social media. Like, for example, Louise Beatty has 1,195 people that follow her. And Louise releases articles on LinkedIn all the time. The issue here is that when you look at the articles, it's a lot like Facebook. People will put likes and things like that on there. And what's amazing to me is when I look at Louise's articles, which she basically has 18 articles total, 3 likes, no comments, no shares. It's like that all across the board with everything that Louise has done here. Now, when you talk about followers, I have over 11,000 followers on Google. My photography page, I don't know, 1,300 followers on Facebook. My Instagram number, hovers around 615. Twitter is 800 and something. So you can look at all that and say, yeah, you can build a following almost anywhere. But what I found is if you're really doing something and you're successful at it, people will flock to it. People will go to it. And I'm not seeing this with Louise Beatty's Prosperous Photographer, right? I'm trying to look up something here on Facebook for, her actual business page, just to get an idea of how much it's grown or whatever, and I'm sure I probably spelled that wrong, which I did. So let's try something else here. All right, we're punching it up now. So I need to, okay. On Facebook, she's marked off as a, photographer's coach. Okay. So, I basically, because I was constantly getting, requests and all this other stuff to be involved with her photography group, I eventually left it. Okay. And now it's a closed group on Facebook, and there's 1,683 members in that group now. Some rules, which are normal, but I gotta say it, guys. If you are not careful, you're gonna get caught up into this. One of these fake things, and it never works out real well. It's just my personal opinion, okay? People can do what they want, but I'm not big on, forking out a bunch of money for promises that usually end up being empty. It's kind of it's a gray area, okay? So people gotta really think about this long and hard, especially budding photographers or people just now coming up into photography, building that business. It's kind of scary, and there's always a scam out there. So you've really got to, watch what you're doing. Don't send bad money after good in the hopes that tomorrow you're going to be a successful photographer. It just, it doesn't happen that way. Wish it did, but it doesn't. And honestly, I look at it like this. Nobody's really got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Nobody has time for the fake stuff. And I'm more or less like, get out of my face with this crap anymore. You get contacted all the time, Main Street host, Google partners, you get the phone calls, you get the emails, and it's always such a bunch of bullshit. This Karen from Main Street Host has been calling me for 3 years now, trying to get me to, optimize my website and, blah, blah, blah. And they're going to do this free report. And it's like, okay, if I really wanted that or needed that, I would look at doing something like that. But I don't think I really need that. So, I had told her once before, I'm not interested, and please, refrain from calling. But every year, right around the same time, I'll get 2 or 3 phone calls from her asking me if, anything's changed. And this year it was like, I didn't even answer. I let it go to voicemail, and it's like, I'm not interested in this. Get the fuck out of my face.
Get the fuck out of my face with that shit.
It's pretty much just how it is. It's very interesting and very, I don't want to call it surreal. It's more of a pain in the ass than it is anything else. You just get tired of it. So, you photographers out there,
You people!
you've really got to kind of watch, what you're getting yourself into. I really don't know what to tell anybody as far as the secret of doing this or doing that. That's the bottom line with it. I don't know. I don't know, sir.
Sir, I don't know, sir!
So, anyway, I do know some people that have been scammed, who poured a bunch of money into, told me right up front, I'm going to be a successful photographer when this is all said and done. And I'm like, okay, let me know how that works out. And then they come back, and, I always have to be an asshole because things get a little heated, when you're telling them, dude, you're wasting your money on this. And then, after it's all said and done, I look at them and it's like, holy Jesus.
Holy Jesus!
If it isn't the world's most successful, famous photographer, I heard you had a sign going into your town with your name on it, that you're so famous. So, for me, it's just kind of fun. But anyway, I just look at it and say, I told you, bitch.
Bitch.
So, Mama's wrong.
Well, folks, Mama's wrong again.
So, yeah, if you want to be a jackass.
Jackass!
And go dump your money, into, one of these programs, that's great. But you better be sure you know what you're getting for your money, all right? Because this isn't, you're not going to throw your money at a photography coach and then all of a sudden, have all magic rays of sunshine, beaming to your success.
Mama say that happiness is from magic rays of sunshine that come down when you're feeling blue.
And, to end things out, like my conversation with Louise Beatty, I told her that there's no guarantee with this. And of course she agreed with that. She says, but, so many of my clients have been successful. And I looked at her and basically said, Louise, listen, I smell scam, and I'm not going to do this. So let's just get this out of the way now, and maybe we can be friends, where maybe I can learn a little bit more about you. But trust me, your price is all wrong for what I'm willing to spend.
The price is wrong, bitch.
Yeah, that's basically what I said, minus the bitch part. So anyway, Louise told me that I was wrong.
No, Colonel Sanders, you're wrong. Mama's right.
Anyway, it's like I said, that whole thing just drives me crazy.
That guy's driving me crazy.
So I just let it go, at that. And I think the most important thing as a photographer is you have to put a little piece of yourself into every photograph you take, and I think that's where you build success.
Oh! You like that, old man? You want a piece of me?
Yeah, that's how it works. Anyway, let's see what else can we touch base here. We're running a little short here because we just, time is I fight for time every week. So, okay, here we go. We did the photography part early. Let's do a little about politics this week.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
All right, first thing I'm going to just point out. I have been watching for weeks now. Actually, it's been longer than that. Everybody hating on Donald Trump and everybody making their smart-ass remarks about Donald Trump and how Donald Trump is going to fail and we need to impeach him. And then they do these investigations, which I'm going to point out is taxpayer dollars are paying for these. I would like to say to you scumbag fucking Democrats, knock the shit off because we're tired of spending our tax dollars on your bullshit witch hunt. All right, first off, we all know Donald Trump met with the leader of North Korea. And evidently he met with a worm, too, Dennis Rodman, which love to see that guy back in the media spotlight. He was awesome. He was funny. He was just great. So, Dennis, welcome back to the limelight, man. All right. So, Donald Trump goes to Singapore. He meets with Kim Jong-un, and it worked out really fucking good. And despite the fact that everything this guy has done, there are all people that just hate him. And the reality of it is, none of you that hate on Donald Trump hated Donald Trump until he ran for president. And then you really started hating him because he won. And I'm telling you right now, and this will be the disagreeable topic, this guy has done more in this short time he's been in office than the community organizer, Bill Clinton, or either one of the Bushes did. And he's doing everything to turn this country around. And he's doing it. And here's a little early prediction for all you people. Donald Trump is going to be a 2-term president. Mark my words. So get used to it. Really get used to it. Maybe some of you will get off your ass and finally go to work and see what it's like to work for a living. Instead of sitting around getting entitlements, which, now entitlements are being, basically investigated. If you need them, great. If you don't, well, guess what? So let's just keep going here with the Trump agenda because it's working. And I will point this out. I've kind of realized that the biggest proponents to Donald Trump, they're either Democratic politicians whose districts are basically poor, receiving handouts, from the government. And I find that very interesting considering. The considering part is these people have been voting Democrat their entire lives, and they still live in the gutters. How does that work? How does that work? You get the political promises, and they're not kept, but they still keep voting for the Democratic Party. That makes no sense to me. And the biggest supporters of the Obamas and the Clintons are the ones who don't have what I like to consider a real full-time job. They want to do what they want to do. They want to get by on next to nothing as they try to build a business. Look, I'll be the first one to tell you, I'd love to not have to get up real early every morning and go to work. I could set my own hours, work as long as I wanted every day. I'd love to be able to do that. And then know that I'm going to have my health insurance. I'm going to have my meals, my home, be able to afford a car so I can get, to where I got to go. But it doesn't happen. The people that live like that, they're the ones that supported Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton. I'm sorry. There's two classes of people. There's the limb, lame, and lazy that don't want to work, and then there's hard-working Americans. Those are the people that put Trump into office, and they're going to do it again. I can't wait till the next meltdown. And yes, it is. Here it is. This is Mike Sargent, and he is a dirty bastard for saying all this.
Now you see that standout? Now that is a dirty little bastard.
Yeah, I kind of am. So anyway, all right, listen. This is about all I'm going to talk about this week because that's all I really have to say. So I hope you enjoyed the big picture. And if you didn't, I don't give a fuck because they keep asking me, making sure that I do this. So, I've learned, at my age and just my distemper, who gives a fuck, whether you like it or not. It's the same thing with photography. I love to do photos, but I don't give a fuck if you step in front of my lens or not. I've seen people come to me and then go to other photographers, then come back to me and then go to the other photographer. Great. It's like I said, but there comes a time, and this happens a lot. Oh, we need you to do this. We need you to do this. And you know what you get? Nah, sorry. I'm a loyalty kind of guy, and I've always been pretty loyal, to people that are loyal to me. Well, sometimes that gets rubbed the wrong way. That's all we got, people. Thanks for listening. I'm out.
I got the power! Like the crack of the whip, I snap attack, front to back, in this thing called rap. Singing like a shovel, rhyme double on a heavenly level. Bang the bass, turn up the treble. Radical mind, day and night, all the time. 714, wise, divine, maniac, brainiac, winning the game. I'm the lyrical Jesse James. Quality I possess, some say I'm fresh, where my voice goes through the mesh of the microphone that I am holding. Copywritten lyrics so they can't be stolen if they are not. Don't need the police to try to save them, your voice will sing. So peace, stay off my back, or I will attack, and you don't want that.